motion that we reconvene to open session? A move by member Ridley, and second by member Tcusd. All in favor? Aye. That's 4-0 with member Bell absent. Announcement. Tonight's meeting is being digitally recorded. May we now please have the Pledge of Allegiance by member Nolan, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Announcement of actions taken in closed session. There were no actions taken in closed session. We'll move on now to item number 10. And I will make a motion to approve the recommendation of the administrative hearing panel for student number 10300002221 from Temple City High School. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
So that's a second by member Tia. This is a motion to approve. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Nullenberg?
No.
Mr. Pomeroy?
No.
Mr. Ridley?
Yes.
Mr. Tcusd?
No. So the motion to approve does not pass. That's 2-3. Moving on to item number 11, special recognitions presentations. The 2016 Pasadena Tournament of Roses Royal Court finalists from Temple City High School.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to share with us this evening. As you're well aware, the Tournament of Roses has made their final selections for the Royal Court to serve as the court for the 2016 Tournament of Roses parade. With that said, the process is quite a lengthy process, and so I've asked Shivani and Lynn to come tonight and just share briefly about their experience. But most importantly, I wanted to highlight them because out of almost 900 young ladies in the Pasadena City College area, which is the area in which students are able to try out for the Tournament of Roses, they made the cut for the final 39 out of 900. And so, although they said to me, well, we didn't make the court, what they did make as far as making that cut is tremendous in the Tournament of Roses world. So I've asked them to come and just share a little bit about their experience. They have their numbers from the tryouts and talk about how they had to present themselves and what the experience was like.
Hi, I'm Lynn,
Hi, I'm Shivani.
and the experience for the Rose Court was very tedious, I could say. The first round, actually, we had 15 seconds to explain why we wanted to be on the court, and 15 seconds is not a lot of time.
So the way it worked is that on the first day was the day that majority of the 900 girls came, so it was broken up into two sessions, the morning session and the afternoon session. Luckily, we weren't caught up in like the hot sun, so we got to sit in the cool shade waiting, but we were still sweating because we were so nervous. So we were given numbers when we went to drop off our bags, and our numbers were, well, mine was 80.
That was 45.
And they were little plastic cards where every round you pass, you get a little rose sticker. And in the final round, they give you the real deal.
The hard plastic one.
So I know for me, the first round was probably actually the hardest round, just because when you're sitting there and you're given so much time to just think about what you're going to say, and you're looking around you and you see all these beautiful girls from like around Pasadena, you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm making it. What am I even doing here? Let me just go home right now.
And then right before the round, like right before you go up, so we're led into a garden, and then there's like 10 seats right before that you go up to the actual judges. And so literally every 15 seconds, like the girl gets up next to you and she goes up, and it's like literally in like less than a minute you're up and you go.
Yeah, they're called the hot seats because they're the seats right before you go up. So once you get there, you say your 15 seconds and you say thank you and then you leave. And I think,
Say Shivani.
actually that's the thing, I don't even know what I said because in that moment I was so nervous. I don't even remember how I stood, but it just so happened that I ended up on that day's Rose Parade Instagram, which Bailey actually pointed out to me. So I was like, oh, that's what I look like up there.
It was the longest 15, no, it wasn't the longest, it was the shortest 15 seconds ever. I think.
So yeah, and then so as each round progressed, we waited for our email, and luckily we never got the no email, and we happened to keep progressing. And it was really neat just getting to see the same familiar faces each round, like, oh hey, you came back, you're back in it.
So the first round was 15 seconds, and the second round was a minute. The third round was a minute 15 seconds, and then it jumped all the way to 4 minutes at the fourth round, which was very long.
Very long. Yeah, they asked us just general questions, and you go into a room where it's like this. There's 11 people staring at you, and you're in the center, and they're filming you, and you're just trying not to forget anything, and it's really exciting.
It was a good experience. We learned how to answer questions quickly and sufficiently.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience I wouldn't want to pass up. I got my 15 seconds of fame on TV, even though I never actually made court.
I did too.
Yeah.
It was a recording.
Yeah.
So,
I think, yeah, it was a really great experience, and we're extremely thankful to have made it this far and to be able to have represented our city as far as we did. And so.
and we're thankful to be here as well. So thank you.
Well, we want to thank both of you for coming, excuse me, tonight and sharing your experience and just giving us an opportunity to tell you how proud we are of your selection of the final 39. So I have a little token for you, a gift from the Pasadena Tournament of Roses, some tote bags for you both.
It's so cute.
And thank you for being ambassadors for Temple City. Had a lot of good success with the Rose Court process, and we appreciate hearing about our students still being interested in pursuing it and doing so well, so thank you. And I think it improved your presentation skills too. Not sure I've seen your presentation skills before tonight, but anyway. Okay, where are we? Vice President Bell, where are we? Oh, okay, number 12. Public comment on agendized and non-agendized items. Are there any requests for public comment? No requests? Okay, moving on then. Update on district issues. Business services. Ms. Sorrell.
Couple quick things for you. Sorry?
I'm sorry, I just have to run, but, sorry to take it out of check, but just want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. I have a flight that I need to catch, so, thank you all.
That would be board member comment numbers, item number 16, number 10. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks. Try to help. Have a good day.
Okay, Ms. Sorrell, please continue.
So I wanted to give you a quick update on the soils testing at the high school. The final round of testing was completed last week, and now it's back being evaluated by Tcusd. There's two ways it may go. They'll either ask for a formalized written plan, or they'll consider it a housekeeping issue, and then just tell us to progress forward with removing the soil or replacing it with clean soil, and hopefully we'll hear back in the next week or so about that. The DTSC will witness the removal of the soil with either action. Another item, just to let you know what's happening with our maintenance group. We're doing preventative maintenance at all the sites in preparation for the rainy season we're expecting. So every drain, downspout, rain gutter is being checked site by site, and we're tracking those so we can be as prepared as possible. And also we're doing a full review of the HVAC HVAC system at the high school. Some of the work will be done during the Thanksgiving break, and the remainder will be done during winter break when students are not in session. But we're planning that by the end of December, that will be totally finished. Thank you.
Thank you. Educational Services, Dr. Francis, good evening.
Yes, tomorrow is our first PAC meeting, and you'll recall that PAC is associated with our local control accountability plan. It is the parent advisory committee that helps inform what that plan looks like. And so we have our meeting tomorrow, December 19th at 3:30 in conference room B here at the district office. It's an open meeting, everyone's invited.
Thank you. Personnel Services, Mr. Kuna.
Thank you, Mr. Pomeroy. I actually have a few things to share this evening. First off, I regret to announce that Mr. John Fisher has resigned his position as the CSEA representative for the Personnel Commission. Mr. Fisher spent 14 years on the commission, and we wish him only the best. Therefore, we have an opening for our CSEA member on the commission. At our meeting yesterday, the presidents from CSEA 105 and 823 agreed to appoint Miss Ann Seitz to the vacant position. Ann is a former employee of the district and is dedicated to maintaining the role and responsibility of the commission and the merit system. But we have a timeline to keep for that. So even though this is the School Employees Association representative, it's still up to the board to announce that this member is going to be appointed to the commission after 30 days of today's date, when it's announced to you guys that it was publicly announced who it's going to be, and within 45 days. Unfortunately, we do not have another board meeting within that time frame. So I contacted George Cole, who's the executive director of the California School Personnel Commission Association, and he shared that that happens frequently around the holidays. It's not an issue for us. If we cannot appoint somebody, the board does have the right to appoint somebody interim and on an emergency basis, but we should be okay because we have a meeting the following week. So we're going to be over our timeline by about 7 days, but it should not be an issue, according to Mr. Cole. And then the second bit of news, so just so you guys know, Ms. Seitz, the appointment for her is only for the remaining period of Mr. Fisher's term, which would be just for a year. His term expires December 1st, 2016. And so our next board meeting at the January 13th board meeting is when we'll announce that Ms. Ann Seitz is the Public Employees Association representative or somebody else of their choosing at that point. There's no need for a public hearing for that particular spot. Second, I have to announce that we have another resignation from the Personnel Commission, and I'm going to read the letter from Mr. Larry Marston, who is our board appointee to the commission. Mr. Pomeroy, as a newly elected governing board member for the Temple City Unified School District, I will no longer be eligible to continue serving as the board's appointee to the Personnel Commission once I am sworn in as a governing board member. For this reason, I must resign the board's appointment to the Personnel Commission. With the board's grace, I will continue my duties as the board's appointee to the Personnel Commission until such date and time I am sworn in to the new governing board member position. I appreciate the board allowing me the opportunity to serve. Respectfully, Lawrence A. Marston. So, congratulations to Mr. Marston. With this announcement, we now have 15 days as a board to decide who is going to be the board appointee to the Personnel Commission. So at our next meeting, which is again after 15 days because of the holiday schedule, which we are okay with, and we're going to be short by about, or we're going to be over by about 3 days. We have to have a name for the public of who's going to be appointed to the board seat. 30 days after that, or within 45 days, we need to have a public hearing and then make the appointment for the remainder of what was Mr. Marston's term, which would be December 1st, 2018. Any questions on any of that?
I don't think we get to ask questions.
Okay.
But thank you for offering.
And then the final thing is you all have in front of you a copy of the Personnel Commission's annual report for 2014-15. This was approved yesterday at our Personnel Commission meeting. Basically, this goes out to surrounding districts, just talk about the merit system, talks about our highlights for the year, and on the backside you have the recruitment summary for our 2014-2015 school year. And so you'll notice that obviously we did have an increase in our number of applicants and people looking for positions, number of increases in our exams and people being tested, and also in our positions. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Bargaining unit comments. Are there any bargaining unit comments from Temple City Education Association? Ms. Warner.
And I'm really not prepared tonight, but I have to say, after hearing the comments relating to closed session, I just feel that I have to stand up and say that over the years, employees in this district maybe aren't the best paid in the valley. But one good thing is that and maybe we haven't always felt the most appreciated, but one thing is that we've always felt very safe in our classrooms. And I have to say that I have long respected, although it hasn't always, maybe I haven't always agreed, but I have always respected our district zero tolerance policy on any type of weapons a kid would inadvertently bring to school. A few years ago, we had a 7th grader that came and said, I forgot I went camping with my Boy Scouts and I brought my pocket knife to school. And he was expelled. And the fact that I can't imagine that it would be condoned by this board that a student would ever be allowed to make a threat to a teacher and have the board say, that's okay, you get to stay. I'm just absolutely shocked. And representing our teachers as I do, I'm ashamed. I am ashamed to say that the board says, that's okay. That's okay. Students can maybe threaten teachers or whatever, but maybe they didn't really mean it. I've had teachers off work. I've had teachers practically hysterical. And I'm going to say that many years ago I was threatened by a student and maybe it wasn't really going to be taken seriously, but it still really rattled me. And I can say that the board in my past district did stand behind me and said, no, we're not going to tolerate this, and that was the right thing to do. I'm so ashamed. I'm just so ashamed right now.
Thank you. Okay, any comments from representatives of either of our California School Employees Associations? Okay. Moving on then to student board member comments, which is item number 15. Ms. Weiss.
So I don't have a whole lot to report on. 2 weeks ago we celebrated Homecoming Week, filled with the Assembly halftime show and game. It was a really fun week for all the students to participate in, and even though we didn't win, I think it was a really great way to end the season, especially with that last minute touchdown. That's pretty great. And then yesterday, ASB had the pleasure of having Ms. Perini come into our weekly formal meeting, and there we discussed the construction updates and kind of gave them an overview of what the board has been talking about, especially with the soil sampling. And this week, our ASB is working on our canned food drive that we run every single year. Every year we donate about 1,000 to 2,000 cans to the local food shelters, so that's really great. And then the winner gets a pizza party in a couple of weeks, so very excited for that tomorrow. And ASB is working on a give back to the Maryville Orphanage in LA. So this year we had the great privilege of working with a group that spends the entire year gathering toys in order to donate at the end of the year for Christmas time. And so we had over, I would say probably a couple hundred toys that we're able to donate this year on behalf of ASB and Temple City Unified School District. And I just wanted to wish everyone a very safe and happy Thanksgiving and happy Christmas holidays.
Thank you. Okay. Board member comments. Mr. Nollenberg.
Just a couple of comments. One is the Temple City School Foundation met and approved a series of grants, including a list of grants for $500 or less. The board then heard some presentations on grants larger than that amount, and they approved those. One of them being for the high school for the Dragon Flicks. One of the more significant ones in terms of dollars and cents. Also, Longden has been working along with the superintendent and others on trying to help with the traffic for beginning and ending schools for the parents who drop off their kids. Yesterday at the city council meeting, they approved a pilot program, which I think is going to last 2 months, starting in January, in which two things will happen. One is there'll be a no left turn sign on Longden going east onto Temple City Boulevard, so there will be no turning that way for at least 2 months, and then there'll be no parking on Longden on either side of the street during those times. Number three, the Temple City Planning Advisory Committee met last week, yesterday I think, and probably in the spring of next year, they will be coming to us and asking for input on the number of students enrolled for the environmental impact study report. And at this moment, it doesn't look like there's going to be a significant number of people, even though the plan is for the next 50 years. It may not affect us that much, but it's something that we should probably keep monitoring, only because it will affect maybe the number of classrooms we need to have and the number of teachers we need. And I was present at the Parents for Digital Aging, which the school put on, which had a rather significant turnout. And I guess in January and February, there are some classes to follow up, and those are all filled now. It's good for us to involve the parents in that. And one of the things that the PTA, and this is a statewide, did a survey, and there was a lot of parents who were uncomfortable with Common Core and the lack of information that was being provided. And when I say a lot, at least a third of the parents felt uncomfortable. Sometimes it's only 2/3 felt uncomfortable with the amount of information they were getting from the school, the site themselves. And then also yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Oak and the dedication of the little circle there for the students to be able to, in honor of 3 of our ex-teachers who passed away. And Kathy was present and gave a very good speech on one of the 3 teachers it was dedicated for. And then the other one is I was present at most of the robotics classes that they had over the weekends. The last 3 or 4 Saturdays and Sundays they've had tournaments. Our people are at least at Longden. We have 2 teams, one the Tcusd and one of them's the Tigers, and they're doing exceptionally well. These are all over the state, all over Southern California. Also, Longden was gracious enough to host one of the practice tournaments last Saturday, and everything went well. There's probably 300 people there. It draws people from all over Southern California, and just a side thing, because some people remember, there was a school called Joe Walker it's the intermediate school. It happens to be in Antelope Valley, and that probably took them maybe an hour, hour and a half to get to Longden to participate. But that's the kind of dedication people have for sending their teams to this kind of tournaments and also I'd like to thank hopefully wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving next week. Right? And that's it.
Thank you, Member Nolenberg. Next up, Member Ridley.
Thank you. Curious how Mr. Walker got a school named after him.
No, he did. They did. I think it's before.
I would like to say congratulations to Mr. Marston and Mr. Nolenberg for their re-election and election. It's not on the agenda for us to talk about the Personnel Commission and how we might solicit a future member, but we've had very good people on our Personnel Commission, so I will make a pitch for someone that's interested and has the interest in continuing that fine tradition to let a board member know of your interest so that you can bring forth a nominee for the school board. And I'd also like to, Kim's not here, but I just want to express my appreciation, I think all of our appreciation of his 4 years of dedicated service. And it's not lost on me that he did a really good job for us as board president through what was kind of a trying year. So I'm going to miss him and appreciate his service. And I also wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Member Bell.
Good evening, everyone. I again had an opportunity to continue to help our Rams football team this season, and with the help of Mr. Marston, I think I have a new partner in crime, so to speak, with 50/50 raffle tickets, and I think we appreciate that. It's a lot of fun out there. It was a fantastic game. Again, homecoming, such a big event. ASB and everyone, the staff, you guys did an outstanding job putting on the halftime show. Although honestly, I only saw a little bit of it, but from what my daughter tells me, it was fabulous. So, and also got an opportunity to stop by and see how our ASB again set up, and I think it was ASB that set up homecoming dance, is that correct? And you fine folks again did an outstanding job, and I think our staff, again, very meticulous and right on key as far as making sure that it was a fun and safe environment for our kids, and I very much appreciate that. They had me go through the pat down and all that stuff. That was kind of fun. Well, okay, maybe not. But anyway, besides that, I just wanted to remind everyone that our Rams Repertoire Company is having their show tomorrow and Friday evening at, is it 7 o'clock? I believe it's 7 o'clock. And the title of their fall production is called All the Timing by David Ives, and I'm looking forward to attending that show this coming Friday. And on a side note, I wanted to extend a thanks out to members of this group for graciously helping us out for our Halloween event at La Rosa and Cloverly. Engaged with the kids, dressed up, and just had a great time. And that's what we hope to see, is that interaction and that continuous connection between our high school, our elementary school kids, and how we're able to mentor them. And I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. And I will certainly concur in the best wishes about Thanksgiving. I won't take up our time with too much else at this point. Superintendent's comments, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pomeroy. Just wanted to explain the pennants. We, Kevin Harrington, Kate Francini, and I were able to attend the signing at PCC of Chris Holden's Bill AB 288, which paves the way for dual enrollment. And as the board and community are aware, we've been working very closely with PCC prior to the signing, so the signing of the bill actually makes the entire process much more streamlined, and Mr. Harrington's been doing a great job forging the partnership with PCC. In addition to that, Linda Waugh, who's on the board of trustees for PCC, has been extremely supportive of us. And Friday night, I was able to go and represent our district in honoring her as she was honored at Cal State LA as a Distinguished Educator and received a Community Service Award. And she continues to reach out to us with opportunities. So there's the Educational Services presentation tonight is going to address some of those items, but we were very fortunate to be able to be involved on the front end of the AB 288. We've had an opportunity as well to talk to Assemblyman Holden and express our appreciation to him for the work that he's done. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. Written communications. Are there any written communications? Okay, moving on to our discussion information items. These are items that the board would like to discuss and have information presented to us. These items do not require board action. First up, item number 19, Health Services Update. Ms. Rodriguez, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, this one. I was asked by Mr. Bell to do a little presentation on health services, and I'm really excited and proud to be here to do this because we have changed over the last few years, and I would like to talk about what we do now. So first, I'm going to introduce myself. I know you know me, but for the public, I'm Nancy Rodriguez. I am your district nurse. My bachelor's degree is in nursing science. I hold a school health credential. My master's degree is in school nurse education. And I am one of 5 in LA County nationally board certified school nurses. I'm a Johnson & Johnson School Leadership Fellow. That's my background. Okay, there we go. I would like to introduce you to the rest of us and who we are. With me tonight is Jade Monick. You can just stand up. She's new to us, and she comes right out of school. She just got her license, and she was number 1 in her class, and she brings all kinds of new nursing innovations to us. The other one with me tonight is Mrs. Helen Redmond. She's been with us more than 10 years, and I won't say how many more. She brings to us a background of psychiatric nursing and also school health and one-to-one. So we have a lot of expertise. Also new to our district is Rena Torres, who comes to us with a lot of experience with respiratory care, ventilator care. We have Louise Huff, who's at Oak. She comes to us with a background of emergency nursing and pediatrics. Monique Alvarez, who is at Cloverleaf, and she brings a background of surgical nursing as well as camp nursing. And Lupe Valle Glover at the high school, who comes with surgical nursing, obstetrical nursing, and adolescent health. So we have an amazing team. And if you'll notice, for the first time in Temple City's history, we are all licensed nurses, one at every school site, which is incredible. It's a really good model. Who we care for. So we have 6,000 students in this district, and just so you can see what we deal with besides giving Band-Aids and sending children home, we have 7 children in this district with type 1 diabetes, and I'll let you know that we get, on an average, 1 new case per year. 1 child this year will be diagnosed, at least 1. We have 36 children with seizure disorders. We have 81 children who are severe enough allergies that they require an EpiPen to be brought to school. We have 182 children that bring asthma medication to school and need it. We have 24 children with heart problems, 4 children with cancer in remission, 5 kidney problems that we need to monitor. We have 3 children with organ transplants, 2 children with trachs, 3 with blood disorders that require monitoring, 2 tube feeds, 2 with hydrocephalus that have shunts, and then we have all kinds of miscellaneous children. We have about 20 with thyroid problems or juvenile idiopathic arthritis, pituitary problems, multiple dystrophy, different kind of syndromes. We have a lot of kids with health needs in this district. What we do, this is just an average month. I just took a snapshot of my October stats. So in October, the health aides saw 1,424 students in their offices. For some of the big trauma dramas, we had 1 child be diagnosed with a new onset seizure. He had his first seizure at school. The nurse was able to respond and care for him. We had 7 children with fractures. Most of them were running and fell outstretched and fell on their arms. Because I asked, what's going on here with this? Also monkey bars at the elementary. We had 4 concussions. One of them was a kid that ran into a basketball pole at an elementary school and had a goose egg. It was big. And 3 dental injuries severe enough to send out for dental care. So we do a lot of injury stuff as well as medications. And we passed 495 med passes in a month. That ranges from anything from a kid needing medication to control ADD, to antibiotics, to a child who needs their seizure medications administered at a very specific time. We do heart meds at a very specific time. All children who get insulin. We completed vision screening for our mandate, which is kindergarten, 2nd, 5th, and 8th. We took care of all of that in the month of October. And letters sent home after the vision screening was 138 fails that were referring to the parents to follow up. Our mandated screenings, we take care of this yearly as a team. We do all vision, hearing, scoliosis, dental. We do all the referrals and follow-up. We are the first responders on school sites for all injuries and illnesses. For example, I had a nurse a couple of years ago. A parent had a seizure driving up to school to pick his child up after school, and he drove into a light post. The nurse was the first one on the scene, ran out of the building, cared for the parent, called 911, and took care of him. We are also part of the school site disaster team for emergency care of students, staff, and the community. And we're all of us CPR and AED certified. We do specialized healthcare procedures on a daily basis. We do asthma nebulizers. We do diabetic blood glucose monitoring and insulin administration. We do trach care. We give EpiPens to kids that are in need, having severe allergic reactions. We monitor and care for students with seizures, and we do G-tube readings. We give medication assistance to students at school. We monitor the symptoms and the medication side effects so that we can follow up with the parents and let them know it looks like your kid may be reacting to this medication. You may want to call your doctor and see if that's the correct dose. We also document every medication given and what time. We do communicable disease prevention. We check on the immunization status of all our students, and we help families obtain those immunizations. We report all identified communicable diseases to the Department of Health Services. We identify ill students and we send them home and give instructions on how to care for the student at home, and we provide education to students and staff and their families on how to prevent getting sick. We identify health problems. We are on the front lines, and often the nurses in the health office are the first ones to pick up problems. We had a child a couple of years ago, and the parent came in and said, my kid is always thirsty. He drinks. I don't know what to do. He just won't stop drinking water, and he looks kind of thin. And the nurse said, take him to the pediatrician. He may have diabetes. Sure enough, that's what was going on. So we're the first sometimes to identify these things. We also refer and we communicate with parents and healthcare providers. In special education, I do a health and developmental assessment for all students getting triennial IEPs and initial IEPs. As a team, we monitor and assist students with their needs, and I'm a member of the IEP team, and I give input on healthcare needs for students. Parent education and support, we assist parents in finding health insurance and primary care providers. We're a resource to parents for the specialized services in health and mental health care. And we provide support and education for parents of students with healthcare needs. I might have a child who's newly diagnosed with asthma, and I can sit and work with that parent till they feel comfortable giving the care. For staff, I am able to provide CPR, first aid, and AED training to anyone in the district. Typically, I do the high school coaches in June so that they're ready to go for summer sports. I provide OSHA standard bloodborne pathogen services yearly to the district staff. I do staff training on different topics, suicide prevention, child abuse, and prevention and reporting. And I provide specific education to staff needs. At Oak every year, I teach the teams how to do EpiPen. We run an AED program. We have an AED unit at every school site, 2 at the high school and 1 here at the district office. And our staff do the daily and monthly checks and order the supplies to keep those AEDs ready for use. For staff wellness, we'll take anybody's blood pressure if they request it, just as a favor. I do a TB assessment and referral as mandated by the state for every staff employee every 4 years. We provide free flu shots to all our district staff in partnership with healthcare partners down the street, and we are a resource for health-related questions. We do child abuse reporting. We assist staff with questions, and we're often on the front lines to see the potential abuse signs and symptoms, and we do that reporting. Student health counseling and education. I work with students one-on-one to discuss specific private concerns such as substance abuse, pregnancy prevention. I do a growth and development class at the elementary schools. I do small group and classroom education for health-related topics. Every year I'm invited by the high school to talk to the resource class, science class, and I just sit there and answer all their questions, and it's a really good dialogue back and forth. And I also do asthma and diabetes teaching. We work on the wellness program. Through the wellness program, we've implemented Operation Tone Up at 2 school sites, and we're moving to Longden this year as well. So that's, for those of you that don't know, it's a nutrition and physical fitness program combined in 20-minute snapshots that are sort of like comic book style. There's a workbook that goes with it, and it just increases kids' knowledge about the importance of fitness and nutrition and eating habits. We work with food services and school staff on providing nutrition education and fitness programs, and a lot of our staff work, and Helen Redmond works on organizing and hosting our yearly health fair. Health record maintenance. The nurses at every school site document all school visits to the health office. They send monthly and yearly health services reports. We do state and county health screening reports. We document all of those results, and we refer kids that require referral and follow up with their healthcare needs. Risk management. It is my job to know the legal issues within school health services and understand laws, regulations, standards of care, and best practice, which I pretty much update myself daily. We have an air quality program instituted by our health services where we fly a flag at the elementary schools showing what the air quality is that day. If it's green, it's good for PE, it's good for running. If it's yellow, that means maybe kids should be walking. If it's red, they should be indoors. And I'm also certified to provide asthma education to students with asthma through the Open Airways program. I sit on the SARB board, and I assist families that have attendance issues that are health related, and I provide resources to the board for health related needs. So if a kid is out for a chronic illness and there's no doctor documentation, I can provide that family with a resource and referral where they can go to a doctor and get some follow-up for that child. I'm a professional resource. I mentor and provide a clinical experience for nursing students at local colleges. I've been called upon by Cal State Dominguez Hills, Mount St. Mary's College, and PCC to take their students and have them shadow me and see what school nursing is. It's part of their public health curriculum. And I also teach a school nursing curriculum at the County Office of Education for the School Nurse Orientation and Review class. And lastly, I would like to let you know you can't educate a child who isn't healthy, and you can't keep a child healthy who isn't educated. That was Dr. Jocelyn Elders. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or other comments?
Just a comment, Ms. Rodriguez and staff, thank you for making this presentation. For me, it's a very refreshing reminder, and I thought I was busy, but clearly I'm nowhere near there. And I appreciate the care that you guys have given to all of the students of our district, and we are very fortunate and we are very blessed to have such a fine staff. So thank you, and please keep up the good work.
Thank you, it's our pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, moving on then to the next item in our discussion, information agenda, educational services, a presentation from the distinguished members of our educational services team.
That's going to be a tough presentation to follow. There's a lot going on, isn't it? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Pomeroy and Board of Education. It is with great pleasure that we provide an overview of innovating practices that we are developing within our district. While some of the practices we're going to share tonight are undergoing research, Others are in pilot mode, and others are in full implementation mode. And so it is without question that the team who stands before you tonight is the best, the brightest, the most innovative, and the best collaborative team that I have worked with at the district office. We are missing one member of our team tonight, though, and that is Dr. Melissa Kistler. Her flight was delayed from Silicon Valley. She was at a 2-day math institute representing our district, so our apologies that she was unable to make it tonight. Not long ago, Ms. Perini forwarded an article to us about the top 5 innovative schools, and we immediately embraced the challenge and asked the question, why not? Why not Temple City? So in order to build a better, more innovative school district, we visit sites at least 3 times per week. We meet with teachers, administrators, parents, and even students. And on Friday, the team before you, we sit and we plan and we discuss next steps for this district. So it's a very collaborative process. We also know that with innovation, we need to look for jobs to the future. We have an obligation to prepare students for work that might not even exist yet. We don't even know what those jobs are, but we are obligated to create environments where learning ignites endless possibilities and touches the tomorrows today, as underscored in our vision statement for this district. So everything we do is centered around students, learning and student first. So with that, I'd like you to meet our team. First off, I'm Kate Francischini, Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services.
Hi, good evening. My name is Monica Rodriguez, and I'm honored to serve Temple City Unified School District as your teacher on special assignment, also known as a TOSA. And I am supporting STEAM projects at all 7 sites and also helping support Common Core rollout. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Natasha Newman and I'm a curriculum coordinator here in Temple City.
Good evening, my name is Amber Long and I'm the District Outreach Liaison.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Harrington, and I'm the Director of School to Career Enrichment Programs, and I remember the official title, so that's good. Let's get started.
Tough title to remember. Tonight we're going to touch upon 4 areas that prepare students to thrive in the 21st century. And so we'll start with classroom innovation and 21st century skills, followed by STEAM, collaboration, and school to career. So in this slide, I'd like to draw your attention to the middle words, classroom innovation. We have a great deal happening around our district, and it's that one word, innovation, that underscores all that we do. And with innovation comes creativity, as you know, and creativity is not in isolation. It takes a group of people, it takes the learner to be excited and ignite it with putting 2 and 2 together and coming out with 5 perhaps. You know, a new way to look at life, a new way to look at things. So with this, we have integration of tech and digital resources. This is those moonshot moments that happen in our classrooms, where students explore resources and they're using the 4 C's. You've heard us talk about that before: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. It's time where students are using technology, they're exploring, and they're really learning and collaborating together. We also see engagement strategies happening in our classroom. With engagement strategies, we're focused on active learning, hands-on movement. We're focused on creating rhythm in the classroom. There might not be a front of the classroom or a back of the classroom because every space is being utilized when students are actively engaged. When it comes to the flipped classroom, that's a strategy that focuses on reversing the traditional model, where students might study at home before coming to class. They see a TED Talk, they listen to a webinar, they read articles, they do some problem solving. Then when they come in the next day, the teacher is able to dig deeper and to really get down to the process of working with students and differentiating based on their need sets. We also have a lot of activities between the bells, not just after school. You've heard us talk about intervention in the past. Well, we have intervention within the day. We have creativity within the day. We're looking at Genius Hour as well. Why should that just be after school or before school? What can we do within the school day to extend the knowledge of our learners? So with all of that, we're really redesigning our learning environments. We're looking at open spaces, we're looking at ways to reconnect, how students learn and explore the curriculum, and it's beyond the four walls. It's not limited to the classroom in and of itself. And so it's very exciting that as we move forward with math standards, English language arts standards, next generation science standards, and then history standards to follow that, that we're focused on these big initiatives to help us meet 21st century skills. And I'm going to turn it over to Natasha, who's going to focus on some blended learning activities for us.
Thank you, Kate. First, I want to start with a definition of what exactly blended learning means. Blended learning is a way to incorporate technology as well as face-to-face teacher time. I want to give you a specific example. Currently, Emperor is piloting a program called iReady. The way it works is the student is on a computer, perhaps doing a reading comprehension. The program is computer adaptive, so as the student reads and answers questions, the program moves forward. At the end of the session, there will be a report that the teacher can print out and see exactly the student's strengths and any weaknesses. The teacher takes that report and can then really focus in on the instruction as to what exactly that student needs. So the teacher is giving face-to-face time based on data collected from the computer portion. That's an example of blended learning. Monica is now going to talk about STEAM around our district.
Thanks, Tasha. One of my favorite parts about being a TOSA, a Teacher on Special Assignment, is the opportunity that I have to go to see the wonderful programs that are happening at all of our sites. As a high school Spanish teacher for 8 years, I knew what was happening at Temple City High School, but I didn't really know all the wonderful things that were happening at our other sites. And so, yeah, my role is really exciting. I get to work with fantastic teachers and support wonderful programs like STEAM that Michael Lynn helped implement the last few years. So STEAM, as you know, stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. And STEAM can be seen in a lot of different ways. STEAM essentially is an integrated approach. It's no longer teaching in isolation, it's integrating the approach and helping students become active learners, helping them prepare to thrive in college, career, and life. In our district, you'll notice that we have several schools and teachers coding with their students using CS First and code.org. In fact, Hour of Code is happening December 7th through 11th, and I'm looking forward to helping that really get kicked off and started at each site and encouraging not only students, but also teachers and parents to try coding. I'm a foreign language teacher, and I believe that coding is a foreign language, and so it's interesting that it's similar in that way. Robotics is a wonderful program that we have at 5 of our sites that is doing very well, thanks to our wonderful teachers helping support that program. And not just teachers, but wonderful volunteers who support their time. We have Odyssey of the Mind. We have drone video creation as well at the DDSLC, and Science Olympiad as well. That is being supported at 4 of our sites. So it's an exciting time. It's a very exciting time. While most of these programs are happening after school, and these after school programs, our hope, it actually is also in classrooms. STEAM is in our classrooms. As you'll see in these pictures, on the left-hand side, you'll see one of our students at Oak. This is in Miss Jessica Gould's class, and she had Google Expeditions come and visit, and our students had the opportunity to explore the world through Google Cardboard Expeditions. In the middle, you'll see a student in Miss Catherine Van Gorder's class at Oak Avenue, and this is a robotics class during the school day that students get to be a part of. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see Lauren McAllister's 2nd grade class at La Rosa, where she integrates Dash robot coding and Lego robotics as well. STEAM is in our classrooms, and there are countless teachers who are doing activities, who are coding with their students, who are having hands-on activities, and we would love to see more of that. STEAM is fantastic, and what's going on is great, but we'd love to see more during the school day that can impact more students than just the after school hours. So what our Ed Service has been doing is that we have actually been researching and doing our homework and going to conferences and learning about some programs like Project Lead the Way. We've also had a chance to visit, actually Code to the Future came to us. They heard about our STEAM programs and they knocked on our door and wanted to come meet with Temple City Unified because they heard about the wonderful STEAM programs that we have started. So Code to the Future came and wanted us to hear more about their program. And finally, last week, I had an opportunity last week, but I know Ms. Kevin Harrington, Paxton and Patterson is a wonderful program as well that Sarah Villa Middle School uses that I'm looking forward to looking more into so that more students can have STEAM programs. And in regards to STEAM, you'll see the A. Temple City Unified decided to add arts. That's known as STEM/STEAM, and we chose to add the arts because of the importance that they have. And Natasha is going to add a few more words about the arts and STEAM. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. That was actually a discussion we had probably the end of August. Everyone was saying STEM, STEAM, STEM, STEAM, and we thought, we got to make a call. So we are calling it STEAM to integrate the arts. This past September, the Los Angeles County Office of Education awarded Longden Elementary School with a TEAL grant. TEAL stands for Technology Enhanced Arts Integration, and that grant, it covers $2,000 per year over the next 2 years, which Longden teachers can spend as they see fit on art supplies. Along with that money comes training, and our teachers will be attending workshops at the LA County Museum of Art, as well as the California Endowment Center, on how to integrate arts throughout the content areas. Collaboration. Collaboration is at the heart of Temple City Unified School District. We are interdepartmentalized, working with each other and building upon each other's strengths, regardless of the specific department we work in. We are future focused. That's our first title. As Kate mentioned, we don't even know what jobs our students will be entering. There's going to be new fields. Keeping that in mind, we then focus on what are the skills that are going to enable them to be successful in those new fields. So we, as innovative designers of instruction, must prepare students for any environment, building upon their critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and creativity. That takes us to looking at student learner-centered classrooms. Here, the lens is on what kids are actually doing in their classrooms. It's a focus on their actions and looking at how teachers can facilitate activities and lessons where they are doing. That brings us to redesigning instructional models, invites us to take a look at how computer applications, websites, and models of blended learning can be used to maximize student engagement. And that really takes us, as was said earlier, beyond the classroom. Kids are on their devices, and I think if we can focus them around learning and prepping ahead of class time, as the blended model suggests, they're going to be learning beyond the traditional classroom day. Finally, to help us get to redesigning instructional models, we need to look at thoughtful and individualized professional development. This past summer, we kicked off a menu approach where teachers could choose sessions. Titles included apps for the classroom, how to use Google Apps in the classroom, even grading smarter, not harder. So teachers could choose what they were interested in as they went into the new school year, and we're looking at this again for this summer. Again, we are focused on the learner and our kids' skill sets of communicating via social media, very different from our own generation's experience. We're excited about our work ahead and the infusion of technology, arts, and language in Temple City Unified School District. Amber Wong will now talk to us about parent engagement and how we're bringing parents into the mix.
And that's parents' engagement. As a new district parent, as a new district officer liaison, my job is to partner with parents. I'm pleased to share we have 180 parents have joined our district parents WeChat group. Since last April, the first parents meeting through February 2016, we will have the 1,006 parents and to join us, and they're excuse me. So we also have the parents workshop, technology workshop through the hold in the January. So which is to support the parents and the technology use. So for our workshops, so we will thank you for all the parents' involvement, and thank you for all your support my position and to outreach to the parents. And next will be the Kevin, and so introduce all these that are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Well, I'm pleased to announce that the after-school program, the child care program, will have a new look, feel, and logo very soon. After the first of the year, we'll be changing the name to the Extended Learning Program to focus on learning and call to the forefront how we're going to redefine learning beyond the school day. As you can see here, we've got our two young engineers building a bridge, or perhaps a building that will be someday on Temple City Boulevard or span a river near us, if we ever get rain again, that is. One of the reasons to do this is we believe that we need to foster an environment that allows children to develop their social skills, to collaborate, create, and engage in various stimuli to foster learning. And our instructors are beginning to do that. For example, at La Rosa, Carla Fisher has already implemented a science center where students came in, they discovered there was all sorts of shells and rocks. They were able to touch them, feel them, look at them, examine them, tell the similarities and differences between them, and then really start to pique their interest and ask questions about why would a particular rock look a particular way, where would it come from, as they begin to investigate their own learning. Also, we have all of our sites actually participating in the Toyota Dream Car contest, our contest where students are designing the new cars for Toyota. This is for students between the ages of 4 and 15. And students who win actually win an iPad and a trip to Japan, I assume, to the Toyota factory or headquarters itself. So we're really excited about that as well. And if you get a chance, swing by some of the after-school programs to see some of the art work with the cars that have been created. It's really neat to see the imagination and the creativity in process. Further, we're happy to announce we're going to have a spring break camp this year. So if parents need childcare during spring break, we're offering a Taste of the Summer program. So each day we'll focus on a different theme or task, something perhaps like science and cooking, even coding, things like that we'll be implementing in the summer for the longer program. And then the other thing that we're really excited about is the School to Career. And as Superintendent Perini mentioned already, we had the opportunity to go to PCC for the AB 288 signing, and that's really important for us because that's going to alleviate some limitations we have of getting students to enroll. It's going to free up some opportunities, and it's going to expand opportunities for our students. Currently, we have 4 courses at the high school that are articulated with PCC, and what that means for students to get that college credit, they have to apply, go to PCC, take another course, and then pay for the credits to actually receive them. With the dual enrollment model, which we have 1 course at the high school currently dual enrolled, students are dual enrolled simultaneously, they earn credit concurrently while on the high school campus, and that gets posted as soon as they pass the class right on their transcript. They do not have to even attend PCC to receive this credit. they'll get those credits wherever they wind up going to college. So that's one opportunity that we're excited about. Along the lines of this dual enrollment model, we're looking to expand into the second semester and even into the summer, where students would continue on, and those who have not yet graduated, meaning this year's juniors, for example, in our engineering design class, would have an opportunity to go to PCC, concurrently enrolled again for free, and take the third course of the engineering design and work on a Formula E race car, where they would be in competition with students from PCC, Caltech perhaps, the Applied Arts Center, and so really get a good real-world experience. And we're hoping to, in the very near future, expand this dual enrollment model to be much more in-depth and much more opportunistic for a lot more students. We're looking to possibly extend this model into the second semester of this current year to up to perhaps 5 courses, and then next year we're looking at hopefully implementing full force with approximately a quarter of the population at the 9-12 level for both the high school and the learning center. Along the same lines, we're currently looking at expanding pathways, where students are choosing specific courses that are leading them to where they have an interest and aptitude to a career beyond college. What we're wanting to do is focus students with what do I have an aptitude in, what do I have an interest in, then come back and say, what am I going to major in? Okay, now what school offers that major? As opposed to deciding, I'm going to go to that school because I like it, what am I going to major in while I'm there? Oh, by the way, what am I going to do after I get a degree? So that's the purpose of revamping this program and really designing it from the ground up. That concludes our presentation. So we thank you for your continued support, and we're excited moving forward.
Thank you. Do we have comments or questions while we're still on this? Mr. Nollenberg?
Right now, we budgeted, what, $100,000 for STEAM? Is that going to be enough considering all the things that we're doing?
Right now, that is enough. However, if we discover it's not enough, we might be coming back to the board to ask for additional monies.
Other comments or questions? Mr. Bell?
I would, of course, in the subject, I will always have comments. You know, 2 years ago, when Mr. Pomeroy and I both got on the board, I do not believe that we were anywhere near as far as what we've been able to provide for our students today. That being said, you know, a combination of the fortunate part that our budget seems to be stable at the moment, and also the hard work of everyone. And I just want to thank all of you for going out and helping our staff to embrace some of these things. I know that it can be sort of a difficult challenge at times. I've had that experience myself. And you know, with STEAM and the way we see all of this, I only dreamed that this would be what it is today, and I know that it could be a lot greater. And on a side note, in honor of our code, and I have shared this with our superintendent, that I have adjusted my work schedule. I'm normally a 9-to-5er, and I am committing to that 1 week between the December 7th to 11th, where I will be spending a good portion of my day at Cloverleaf, and I have classes that are signed up, and we're going to have a little fun with Star Wars, or maybe Minecraft. But this gives me an opportunity to engage with the kids. And at first I was a little bit hesitant about this, but after running my my daughter's school's yearbook class for the past 4 or 5 weeks with 18 kids, I honestly thought that I was going to get run over and that this was a terrible idea. But as a matter of fact, I quite enjoyed it, and I think the kids were amazing. So. And I, look forward to this experience as well. And I see Project Lead the Way. If you're interested in visiting a STEM magnet high school that does this full time for the past 5 years, we can help you. Again, the connection with PCC, that's huge. That's so huge. And in our outreach program with our parents, especially with our immigrant families, so vital. I mean, I can't even explain that, you know, and I see it more than often enough. And I think that maybe our high school kids that have immigrant parents may not like what we're doing because they'll get away with a few less things, but I think our parents would appreciate that. So, and again, thank you very much for all your hard work, and we very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? No, I would just like to echo my colleagues and special thanks to Superintendent Perini for putting together this team as we're transitioning to Common Core, and the transition is going to be a long transition, and other standards in science, and then approval of new textbooks. You know, the more I learn about education, the more I learn about instructional services, I realize that it's, you know, you all are trying to sort of get your footing in an environment that's constantly changing. It's sort of like walking across a rushing river, and then it starts rushing a different direction. And so, but I'm very impressed, as I said, with each of the members of the team. So thank you, Superintendent Perini, for the work you've done there. And I certainly feel like our district's in good hands. So thank you. Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break before we move on to our discussion action agenda. For patients, we're now going to move on to our discussion action agenda, items that may require discussion but upon which the board is expected to take action during the meeting. And we're going to start with item number 21, which is to reject the bid protest of ACC Contractors, Inc. for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement and modernization project. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we so reject. Is there a second to that? Okay, second by member Nolenberg, and Mr. Rodriguez is here. Good evening.
Good evening.
And we do have a memo on the topic. So Mr. Rodriguez, is there more information we need to know?
There is not more, only that after discussion with legal counsel, it's not a valid protest.
Board members, do we have questions or comments about this? Okay, thank you. The motion is to reject the bid protest. All in favor? Aye. That's 4-0. Thank you. Item number 22, I will move that we reject the bid protest of Construct One Corporation for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement and modernization project. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by member Nolenberg. And again, this is there's a memo about this, and so our hope then is, with the other items on the agenda, that the Emperor project could get started. When could the project get started?
They would mobilize as early as probably next Monday.
Okay. On item 22 here, are there any comments or questions about that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That's 4-0. Item 23, I will move that we accept the receipt of bids and award a contract to AJ Fistis Corporation for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement and modernization project in the amount of $1,882,600. Is there a second to that motion? That second by member Nolenberg, thank you. And I see that the language in the agenda also says or reject all bids, so my motion is obviously choosing not to do that, but instead to accept the bids and award this contract. Are there questions or comments about this item? Okay. Well, before we vote on this, now Mr. Rodriguez, 24 coming up, so that's construction management services from Tcusd for the same project, is that right?
Correct.
And 25 is inspection services, so this is all for the same Emperor Elementary window replacement project.
They're all related.
And then after that we have hazardous materials abatement. So are there any other contracts or anything else we would need to approve other than what's on the agenda before we could start the work?
No.
Okay. All right. So we're still on item 23. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 4-0. Item number 24. May I please have a motion to approve amendment number 5 to the master agreement with Tcusd Construction Management for construction management services for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement and modernization project in the amount of $213,680.
So moved.
Excellent. Thank you, Member Nolenberg. Motion second by Member Ridley. Okay, so again, this is for your construction management services, your firm, and the amendment number 5 is because each time a project is started, there's a new amendment, basically.
Correct.
But
To the master agreement.
to the master agreement, it's contemplated in that master agreement that this would happen for each site's projects, and also there's a amount anticipated for the construction management portion for each. And as I understand, this $213,680 is below the amount originally anticipated. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments about this? All in favor? Aye. Item number 25. May I please have a motion to approve the agreement with UCMI Inc. for complete DSA inspection services for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement and modernization project in the amount of $100,530.
So moved.
Member Nolenberg, motion, thank you.
Second.
Second by Member Bell. Any questions or comments?
I think I had a question.
Yes, Member Ridley, please.
I don't think in this agenda report that you commented on their references or how well they've been performing. How have they been performing and how were their references?
The references were really good, and they're actually on Cloverly and La Rosa presently, and the particular inspector is doing a great job.
Thank you. Other questions or comments?
So are you looking at bringing the same inspector that's doing the other?
No, it would be the same inspection firm, but a different
Okay.
inspector.
Okay.
Thank you. Other questions or comments? And I point out again that the budgeted amount for these particular inspection services have been $110,000, so this is below that. So unless there are any other comments, questions? Ask for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. That's 4-0. Moving on to item number 26. I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement with A-Tech Consulting Inc. for hazardous materials abatement monitoring services for the Emperor Elementary School window replacement modernization project in the amount of $16,640. Is there a second to my motion?
Second.
Member Nolenberg. Thank you. So, any other comments or questions about this?
Did they identify the material they're going to?
Yes.
And at what stage in the process was that identified?
I believe the board approved a contract with Sierra Environmental Consulting earlier this year. And that's due, it's called a phase 1 survey report, where they do testing of all the finished items in the existing building.
Okay. And that's how the scope of this, these services were determined?
Correct. So Sierra writes up the scope of work and the quantities of each item that is found. And that is included in the bid documents for the project. So they would actually bid those items as far as for the abatement. And since there is abatement, it has to be monitored by an abatement monitoring company. So to make sure that it's being removed safely and that the proper protocol is being followed.
Okay.
So that's what this is for.
Okay. Mr. Nolenberg?
Is this mainly lead paint?
I'm sorry?
Is this mainly lead paint?
And some asbestos in the mastic for the floor.
So monitoring, so this is for the monitoring services?
Yes.
And other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 27, which is to approve budget adjustments to the 2015-2016 budget. And we have a report on this. Ms. Sorrell Anything else we need to know? Let's see, the budget adjustments are specified. Maybe you could just briefly summarize what the purposes of the adjustments are.
Absolutely. So in the past, the Fiscal Services Department has brought budget changes to you only at first interim and second interim. And so what I'd like to do instead is we have changes in our funding that we get from the state during different periods of time. I'd like to bring those to you each time we have one rather than waiting and making large adjustments at one time. So these in particular, Kate Franciscini and I have been working together identifying different employees and different ways of paying for them. And they're from some of the unduplicated student funding, which is where we get our extra funding. We're able to cover some employees that were previously covered by Title I or Title III money, and that frees that money up for the sites to buy other things that students might need while still staying within the parameters of proper funding, so that's one. The other one is there's a slight change in special ed of a resource from 65000 to 65002, so we're just cleaning those up.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, and there's one small reduction in our funding of one-time money. There was a reduction of $9,540 of revenue, so it's making that adjustment as well.
Thank you. Questions or comments about that? No? Okay, then I'm going to make a motion that we approve the budget adjustments to the 2015-2016 budget as described in the agenda report. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Member Nollenberg. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Personnel Services, item 28, approve revised job description, Director, Maintenance, and Operations. So, before we have a motion, Mr. Kuna, I'll just ask you, the title has changed from Director of Maintenance Operations. And so why the change in title?
Just to align with the organizational chart that the superintendent brought to the board a couple of months ago, the department changed its name from Maintenance and Operations to Facility Services and Maintenance. And so with the retirement of Mr. Schaefer, we're going to be going out to look for a replacement. And so it was an ideal time to just change the title to reflect the superintendent's organizational chart.
And so the new title would be Director of Facility Services and Maintenance.
And the one part that I might add for the board's consideration is that as we restructure the school district, our emphasis is on service. And we want each department that provides support to our school district as well as school sites to reflect the service model.
Now at the very, well, in the description then it indicates a salary range with a number. The change in description, will that result in a reconfiguring of the salary range for the position?
No, sir.
No, okay.
Everything stayed the same. Ms. Sorrell and I actually looked at the job description and felt that everything was covered by the job description. The only thing that needed to change was the actual title of the department.
And so if we do approve this, then when it's floated, it will be floated with a new title?
Yes.
Other questions or comments? Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion then that we approve the revised job description for what is now the Director of Maintenance and Operations, second by Member Nollenberg. All in favor? Aye. Okay, then I'll move that we receive certain revised board policies for first reading as listed in item number 29, goals for the school district, accountability and budget. Is there a second to my motion to so receive?
Second.
Member Nollenberg, thank you. Do we have comments or questions about these? I noted that in certain cases, changes were made to specify homeless students along with certain other students who are receiving services. And again, this is based on recommendations from the California School Board Association, is that right?
State law.
That's correct. And primarily all the changes are in regards to the language reflecting homeless students.
Okay, right, and it does conform to state law, and then it's, the CSBA filters it in a way that we can then adopt into our policies. I believe, is that accurate?
That's correct, Mr. Pomeroy.
Okay. Do we have other, and I also note that under budget, if the county superintendent disapproves or conditionally approves the district's budget, the board shall review and respond to the recommendations at a public meeting on or before October 8th. So that's a timeline, again, to conform with a change in the law. Is that right?
It's adding language, it's not really a change in the law, but it's adding the language into the policy.
Okay. To make it clear to everyone that that's what the law says. Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? So the motion is to receive these for first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next, we're up to our consent agenda. These are routine items approved by one motion and one vote unless a member of the board or audience requests that any item be reviewed and voted upon separately. So my first question is whether any of the items 30 through 34, are there any requests to review and vote upon any items separately? Okay, hearing none. I'll make a motion then that we approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by member Ridley. And are there questions or comments about any items on the consent agenda? Mr. Nolenberg, go ahead.
Just a clarification on the certified, where for the STEAM support.
Yeah, on this, I'm sorry, on the certificated personnel order? Is that right?
Yeah, we have, it's not to exceed $2,500, but on our confidential receipt, it says an hourly rate of $2,500. I
I'm sorry,
assume
wait.
2,500 is correct, and the confidential statement should have a decimal point.
Where do you see that hourly rate of $2,500?
No, well, it's in the confidential report that we got for this.
Okay, what we're being asked to approve is the certificated personnel order, 1516-08, there are 2 pages. And in that order, do you see an hourly rate of $2,500?
Yeah, it was just $25. Not to exceed $2,500.
Not to exceed $2,500. And you're specifically talking about STEAM support, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
B2.
B2, which indicates non-instructional rate of $32.28 per hour for those particular individuals, not to exceed a total of $2,500. Let me follow up. $2,500, is that for all of the, meant to be for all of those people together, or not $2,500?
No, per each.
Per person, okay. All right. So that's the language that's in the order that we're being asked to approve. Mr. Nolenberg, so do you have any more comments about that? Okay. Any other questions or comments? Do we have any resolutions? No resolutions? Okay. Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I think that's 4-0. We're now at board comments and board requests for future information. Let me try that again. Requests for information or for future agenda items. Are there any such requests? I have no requests. Okay, moving on. To item number 37, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So
That's Mr. Nolenberg's motion. And I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
do you want to go close?
Oh. Hold on. What do I do now? Bob, what do I do?
I suspect you could correct. You could say, oops, we didn't mean to adjourn, we meant to reconvene the closed session. I don't know, like we actually adjourned the meeting. It's unprecedented in my experience.
Why don't I amend the motion to go to closed session instead of adjourn?
Motion to reopen.
Mr. Belcher shared if the items in closed session were not finished, that we would be adjourned to closed session.
Yes.
Share that.
Okay, it's pointed out that Vice President Bell stated at the beginning of the meeting that if we did not finish closed session items in the first closed session, we would re-adjourn to closed session at the end of the meeting. So I will did we think I need to do anything else?
realized it within just seconds of adjourning.
Yeah.
Everyone's still here.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do.
Everyone would have an opportunity to wait till we
Yeah.
get out of closed session to hear any action.
I'm gonna move that we correct the record to remove the adjournment motion that I made.
So,
Okay, is that a second to what I'm doing?
yeah.
Okay, a second to whatever I just said. So, are we all in favor of that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So now how about a motion to reconvene to closed session to discuss the remaining items under item number 4.
So moved.
That's Mr. Nolenberg, second by member Ridley, okay? Okay, clear. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes. Yeah.